if you've been following, apparently the Democratic Party, they're blaming Susan Sarandon. Literally, the Democratic Party blamed Susan Sarandon for the bombs in Syria. Like, I've heard some shit in my day, but that's a whole nother level. So I did a video on this over the weekend. So here we go. You had Jesse Ferguson say, I'd like to congratulate Susan Sarandon. Apparently, Susan Sarandon not endorsing Hillary Clinton is the reason CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times, the Washington Post has been poking at Trump to stand up to Russia and to basically bomb Syria. Apparently, it's Susan Sarandon's fault for all that. From what I hear, Susan Sarandon is responsible for the Flint water crisis. She's responsible for Kennedy's assassination. She's responsible for all the water contamination we're seeing all across the country. She's responsible for Standing Rock water protectors getting shot at. She might even be responsible for us landing on the moon, which was a good thing. So, obviously, Susan Sarandon is the enemy we've all been looking for. She's responsible for the oligarchy. She's responsible for the environmental genocide. She's responsible for all of it, including President Trump dropping over 100, I believe it was, Tomahawk missiles on Syria, even though we don't have any evidence that Bashar al-Assad was the one who gassed his people. So Susan Sarandon responded to this stupidity with a link to a Reuters article. Oop, excuse me. There you go. She responded to a link to that Reuters article. So let's take a look. What article was she talking about? Oh boy. Hillary Clinton calls for U.S. to bomb Syria. They sound. Because all you have to do is Google it. All you have to do is Google it. Hillary Clinton called for bombing Syrian airfields. She also she said if she became president, she would have put a no-fly zone over Syria, which I don't think they'd be cool with that. I don't think Bashar al-Assad and their main ally, Russia, would just kind of be like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. We'll just be okay with that. So, in her first interview since her stunning presidential election defeat to Republican rival Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton on Thursday called for the U.S. to bomb Syrian airfields. Clinton, in an interview at the Women in the World Summit in New York, also called Russian interference in the 2016 presidential elect a theft more damaging than Watergate. This was last year, this thing. So we've heard that Russian trolls were akin to Pearl Harbor from other Democratic establishment, and Hillary Clinton says Russian interference was Watergate. Okay. Asked whether she now believes that failing to take a tougher stand against Syria was her worst foreign policy mistake as Secretary of State under President Barack Obama, Clinton said she favored more aggressive action against Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. I think we should have been more willing to confront Assad, Clinton said in an interview conducted by the New York Times. I really believe we should have and still could take out his airfields and prevent him from being able to use them to bomb innocent people and drop sarin gas on them. Clinton noted that she had advocated for a no-fly zone in Syria after leaving government, something that Obama denied. So she said that, I think in her first interview after Trump was elected, which kind of leads me to think if she was elected, we would have been dropping bombs on Syria way before Trump did. And honestly, put a gun to my head, I think she would have sent in ground troops too. Because the one piece I will encourage you to read from the New York Times, read it years ago, is How Hillary Became a Hawk. How Hillary Became a Hawk. So that will tell you everything you need to know. Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State, basically encouraged Obama to go into every damn country. And before I'm accused of being sexist, before I'm accused of mansplaining, this is not me saying that Donald Trump is a great president. This is not me saying that he's not a con artist, warmonger too, because he conned a lot of people into thinking he was some isolationist and let's get out of Syria and let's get out of everywhere. We need to build here and yada, yada, yada. And the people in Michigan and Wisconsin and Illinois and Ohio and Pennsylvania, they ate it up. They ate all that up. And I told people at the time it was nonsense. But the thing is, Hillary Clinton's people are blaming Susan Sarandon for Donald Trump dropping bombs on Syria when Hillary Clinton would have been at full-scale war with Syria at this point, and quite possibly even Russia. I mean, I'm exhausted. I hate having to talk about Hillary Clinton. I hate having to talk about the Democratic establishment. And if the corporate media wasn't in bed with them, and then if progressives could get equal airtime, we wouldn't have to talk about these things. But since Hillary Clinton and that wing of the Democratic Party still runs the Democratic Party and is still essentially, they pull the strings of the corporate media, we still see Neera Tanden on MSNBC and CNN. We still see James Carville. We still see Paul Begala. We still see Jennifer Palmieri. We still see Robbie Mook all over corporate media. The same people, frankly, who ran probably one of the worst campaigns in American history and lost to a friggin' orange orangutan doofus. Let's be real. So here's what I have to say. I've interviewed Susan. I checked. Susan Sarandon could vote for whoever the hell Susan Sarandon wants to vote for. And Susan Sarandon could endorse whoever the hell she wants to endorse. She never endorsed Donald Trump. She never urged people to vote for Donald Trump. It's an easy, it's a distraction. They're trying to distract you. They try to blame Susan Sarandon. They try to blame Jill Stein. They try to blame, Jimmy Dore or other progressive media figures. And they don't want to look in the mirror. And they want to still regurgitate the same exact politics that has gotten us to this point.